Good morning, what's up guys? Well, I'm going to show you some comics I got last night. I hit the comic book store up the road here quite a bit, and they still have their comics, 25 cents a pop. And I'm going to show you a few things I had laying around the house or picked up here recently. And before we get to the comics, I highly want to recommend this book that I picked up, I think back in September or something, for $1. I read I read it back when I was in the 80s and loved the book. Can never find it again. And this is a 1981 edition. The actual story was written in 1952, and pretty much I'm just going to read what's on the back. The Holocaust had ravaged the world 200 years before. Survivors were scattered across the frightening wastelands. Some struggled merely for life. Others, like Force of the Starman's son, dared to terrify an unknown to capture the knowledge that could once again destroy them. Basically, he just sets out on a little quest there to, kind of finish his father's work after not being allowed into the inner circle of his tribe of the Starmen, if you will. And they're explorers. That's their whole job. And he's stolen a map, and he's catching horses, and he's going with his mutated cat. And I'm not real happy with the picture on the cover because that should be a giant Siamese cat. The nuclear holocaust pretty much killed all the dogs, and some of the cats mutated, house cats, and they went out in the wild and mated, and you have giant cats that are smarter than any dog were. They're really good. He hunts for them and everything. He fights wild boars. He's picking up another tribe that's moving in across the plains, and really good stuff. Great stuff. I wish they'd write them like that. Another book I'm a little hesitant on giving a review because this is just really a hard read. I had a chance to buy this when it first came out. Kicked myself for not doing it. Came out soft cover, ran across it again, didn't get it, kicked myself. So I ran across this a couple months ago. I don't even think I paid $4 for this. And it's about what it says, the last days of Krypton, leading up to Jor-El putting baby Superman in the ship and sending him to the Earth. It's showing General Zod's rise to power. Jor-El and his brother ever being a big scientist stuff, slowly figuring out, discovering that Krypton's going to explode. First appearance of kryptonite in there, and it's just not the page turner I want it to be. And I can tell you right now, they've mentioned Kandor so much. That's where Jor-El's brother lives and everything. I think Argo City or Kandor in here or something. Anyway, but basically you can tell Brainiac is coming, and it's predictable. I think Brainiac's going to shrink the city, and that's going to give General Zod the power to come into a militant state, take over, and doing his crimes against the people of Krypton. Cool concept. All the pieces are slowly fitting together, but it's just a really slow read. 2-3 weeks ago, went to pick up my son for a visitation. Everybody wanted to stop somewhere, and I ended up picking up this at Best Buy. Now, don't let the $14.99 mislead you. The reason I'm showing you this is because they had it mispriced. I got this for practically nothing, and they had to, they had to show good faith because they mispriced it. The reason I picked up Batman Brave and the Bold Season 1 Part 2 and passed on Part 1 of that season is that this is the 2-disc set that has the Commandy cartoon and the OMAC cartoon. And I tell you what, this is really good stuff. Commandy is spot on. The OMAC one was just ridiculous, and maybe just I was just really disappointed. Also on this one, Mystery in Space, Trials of the Demon, Night of the Huntress, Menace of the Conqueror Caveman. I haven't watched that one yet, I don't believe. Animated OMAC. Best I think I can do is probably turn on the cartoon, turn down the sound, play some heavy metal music. And got this at Walmart, $5. The Last Starfighter. Loved this when I was a kid. I feel like I was watching the story of the Green Lantern in a way. But for anybody that has not seen this guy that lives in a trailer park, and it's one of the nicest trailer parks I've ever seen. Let me tell you that. I've lived in a few. No meth labs or anything in it. Anyway, so he gets his loan turned down for school. His girlfriend, takes off to the lake with a bunch of guys, comes back with another guy. And it's such a Steven Spielberg wannabe movie, but I still have a lot of love for it. It was all over TBS when I was a kid. And he plays a video game called the Starfighter or something, Last Starfighter. Turns out the video game, he breaks the high score, and he gets recruited to be a real starfighter. It was a test, and he goes up and meets all these aliens and stuff. Pretty good stuff. Really cheesy. It's one of the first movies that use digital animation to where they're trying to make it look real, and it's dated, but it's fun. Maybe king of the 80s B movies, I don't know. Okay, so on the spinner rack behind me, we're just going to go down the line here, show you what we picked up here and there. We're just going down the line, and looks like I'm getting high tech on you guys. See if I can make this work here. Alright, what we have here is from First Publishing. It was a company that was around in the 80s and stuff, and I didn't really pick up a whole lot of their stuff, but apparently they have a 5-issue series where it's Crossroads, where they kind of mix up some of the characters. And first one we have Grimjack, Dreadstar, and Nexus. This is issue 5 of 5. Looks like I have them, at the bottom. 25 cents, guys, and basically it's got cool Steve Rude covers. Here's number 1. This issue is issue 1 of the 5-issue series, Whisper and Sable, if there's any Mike Grell fans out there. And we have issue 4, Roger Salek, Sean McManus doing it, Grimjack, and Judah Maccabee from Nexus. Alright, hopefully these are showing up well. Before I skip them, we'll open these together. Got these. JSA Blackest Night. That is not the price I paid. Pretty much got an awesome deal. They're just trying to get rid of the comics. This is supposed to be all 3 issues of a Blackest Night JSA crossover. So let's see what we have here. I'm not really expecting too much from these, considering it's just shooting out miniseries. There's 1. There's number 2. Very cool. Some return of some dead JSA members. Number 3. Yep. Too good to be true. We have sort of damaged spine. Looks like somebody just kind of pulled it on the rack when they were looking at it. Still didn't pay nothing at all for that. Oh, finally got me a few Marvel books, and I got this one. It was Artist Day. This is Marvel 2-in-1, Thing and Stingray, George Perez art, and it has some of the most amazing. It's from 1980. Most amazing advertisements in it. It has Lord of the Ring dolls advertised, Buck Roger dolls advertised, $3.99 a pop. It just seems like I remember all that stuff being out and around. Great George Perez art. To me, George Perez has never really fit into Marvel. He got to DC, he took off. And we got Incredible Hulk 237, 25 cents, 1979. And we'll see. We got a little bit of a glare. We'll see how that goes when a city dies. And the Hulk was just a great TV show. Yeah. As seen on TV. Okay. Got quite a few of these. I always wanted to check these out, not so much for excuse the glare, not so much, Mike W. Barr and Brian Boland did these comics, and Boland does amazing work, and I've already flipped through a couple of these, and the artwork is great. And Mike W. Barr might have actually stepped up. He's not a writer I hate. He did, Outsiders and a bunch of Batman, and I think he did a solo Avengers at Marvel one time that just kind of was weird for me to see, Mike W. Barr writing for Marvel. But I don't have the whole set. I got a few holes here, but the artwork in these are amazing. Camelot 3000. I think it's, I don't know, 2, 3, it's year 3000, as you can see. And basically what happened is King Arthur has returned because we're being invaded. I'm assuming it's not just England, are being invaded by aliens. And that's Morgan Le Fay. And King Arthur has returned, and all of a sudden out of his sword all these lights come out, which I'm assuming are souls or something, and they possess certain people, and it's a few of the Knights of his Round Table. Lancelot and whatnot. Merlin's leading him around. And even if the story is sort of lame, the artwork is phenomenal. That reminds me of a Strikeforce Mortuary, Strikeforce Mortuary, something like that from Marvel. They had an issue where they had a cover where everybody was down on the ground and shooting like that. Okay. Well, I assume that's some kind of dragon, so we'll find out what's going on in there. What's a knight without killing a dragon? And to me, that is shades of, I've seen this cover used before. Maybe it's, 52, number 52, I don't know, but, yeah, it's kind of cool. Set these back up here. A few more, folks. Alright, odds and ends I needed to pick up. Quarter a piece. That's my cross-time caper, part 1 of my, fills a hole in my little Excalibur set there. And this was excellent story. And basically, the only way I need to put it, it's like a DC story. Excalibur went through parallel Earths. And this is the first part. Ah, another All-Star Squadron issue. One step closer to having all of them. Number 39, dealing with racism in Detroit during the 40s. 2 Avengers issues. And actually, I only paid a quarter for this because the guy missed there was 2 copy issues in here. And it wasn't so much I didn't tell him, it's just when I said, let's see what I have here, he just started putting the stacks and fours, counting them up, and wanted to get back to his little Battletech game or something they were playing. The comic book store had 4 or 5 tables full of gamers doing all kinds of rolling their dice, and nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong, but when you're working at the store and you got a customer and you just want to get out of there, well, But what we have here, this is a 100-page monster, Avengers number 48 by Kurt Busiek, Kerwin Dwyer. I'm sure there's going to be a few reprints in there. And issue 35 with a very cool John Romita Jr. cover. Maximum Security. Been out of Marvel for a while. And the 80s continue to pop up. Nightcrawler number 1. Dave Cockrum wrote and drew this. I'm curious to read what he was able to write. Number 2, little Jaws there, mixed with Star Wars. And number 4, yes, missing number 3, but if the first to read well, I'll just skip them. And then I got these purely for the artwork. Bill Sienkiewicz started out as a Neil Adams clone, and I don't think he'll find that as an insult. And he came in and he just did phenomenal work on these. Stepped out and he all of a sudden had his style, and I hope I can get this in there. That is a girl laying on a bed, Daniel Moonstar. I remember she had a demon bear chaser, and he worked it in. Just phenomenal art, and his artwork really gave me a sick feeling when I was a kid. And I don't think anybody made me feel like that just by their artwork being all rigid and black and just so impressionistic, if that's even a word to describe it. Never got a reaction out of it. Like, now that I'm older, I appreciate it. But I think he only did 14 issues, 18 to, I don't know, 31 or 32. I don't think he was on there long. But this is the one that cracks me up. There's one in here that cracks me up because I was flipping through them, and you can definitely tell it's the 80s. Here it is. Because they worked in images of Tom Selleck, Staying Alive, John Travolta, Sting, and Michael Jackson when he was black. And you even got somebody there, I don't know if that's the Hellfire Club or a New Mutant, doing their little Michael Jackson move. Just great stuff. Yeah, number 22, Once Upon a Time, some kind of fairy tale story. Cloak and Dagger appearance. I'm really curious about this. Number 23. We have Warlock versus Legion. A little mark on here. But like I said, these were all a quarter a piece. And actually, after we came up with a total, I got about $3 took off. So I don't even know if I hit double digits when I bought this. 30 Secret Wars 2 crossover. If I remember right, that's where they were wiped out of existence by the Beyonder in every way possible. Look at this artwork. This is just phenomenal. You gotta remember, guys, this is like early 80s. Oh yeah, yeah. I don't know if this is supposed to be in the quarter box or not, but this is giant size Wolverine. Excuse me for the glare. Old Man Logan. And it's a one-shot, #1. So I went ahead and read this last night. I'll move the camera back up. Now, I've really been down on Marvel probably for like about 10 years now. And it's not so much I hate what they're doing, it's just I feel like a lot of what they're doing is a slap in the face to, you know, people been with the company for years as fans. They also have money to give. Excuse me. So I went ahead and checked it out. I got, when Casada took over, I was right there. I bought the first 12 issues of Ultimates as they finally came out. I was collecting X-Force by Mike Allred. You know, I was digging it and stuff, and then it just all started going downhill. Continuity was ignored. People were acting out of character, and they just didn't. I just don't know what they were doing. You know, just I was reading the comics like in 30 seconds, where you know you used to be able to, you could actually get involved and reread these things over and over. So I ended up selling all those on eBay, and kind of, you know, if it was in Wizard or if it's on comic, you know, resources, comic book resources or Newsarama or something, I was able to keep a few comic boards. So, you know, I knew what was going on, big events, what was going around. Nothing's really, I don't think I've really missed out on anything. You know, you can't smoke, you can't, you know, get a divorce in Marvel Comics, but you can make a deal with the devil, you know, have a whole brand new day. You can retcon stuff to where Gwen Stacy, you know, had a big affair with Norman Osborn and all that stuff. So I went ahead and, since it was a quarter, I got it, read it, and, you know, the fact that, big spoiler here, is that, you know, it's 100 years in the future, Old Man Logan is Wolverine who hasn't used his stuff in forever and all that stuff. I'll get a phone call, get it in a minute. And basically what's happened, there's a whole bunch of Hulks going around. It was trying to read like a spaghetti western with Clint Eastwood meets The Hills Have Eyes with a bunch of inbreeds. And I just cannot believe that no matter what radiation poisoning or whatever the reason it is, that the Hulk, Bruce Banner, is going to have sex, incestuous sex, with his cousin She-Hulk, and have this whole little bunch of little green monsters running around, living in a trailer park outside of a cave. Way to go, you know, take a little white trash and try to write it like a bad 80s B movie, and that's just my opinion. I'm smiling, but I'm crying on the inside. Alright, oh yeah, one more thing. Constant Bromstar, if you're watching, you got your message from me about needing your address, which I appreciate you getting back to me quick. But the post office was closed. I missed it by 10 minutes. I have your comics ready to be sent. So I'll send you a message when I get to the post office, hopefully Monday. You know, so sorry about all that. So, but I threw in a few extra goodies there, so you know, maybe you'll enjoy them. Okay. All right, you guys have a great day and beautiful day outside, and it's been raining off and on, so maybe I might have time to get a few more videos on here. All right, have a good